Welcome to your first chemistry video. This is section 1.1, What is Chemistry? And here's the objectives. You want to know a little history about chemistry and also know a little bit about, what are the materials and things that chemists produce. So let's talk about the origin, kind of. It kind of first started way back in medieval times. There were a group of people they called alchemists, and what they were trying to do was change metals into gold. Things like lead and stuff like that, common metals, change them into gold. And what chemistry really is, or what we consider it to be now, is the scientific study of matter and the changes that it undergoes. So we're studying, in this class, we'll be studying about matter, and we'll be studying how matter changes. Well, those early alchemists, a lot of times they were called chemists, and so people started referring to what they were doing as chemistry. So that was kind of the start of chemistry. It wasn't always good science. Sometimes it was just, hit and miss stuff, but that's kind of where it's. And while they're not completely sure, they think the word alchemy comes from an Arabic word, alchemia, which means the art of transformation. And chemistry kind of continued to evolve. One of the next big players in that is a guy named Robert Boyle. Started using something called the scientific method, which we're going to talk about in the next section. And he was measuring like the relationship between pressure and volume, came up with some laws about that. But that's kind of the next thing that happened, next major player, I guess. Then another guy, and this guy is pretty famous as far as chemists go, a guy named Antoine Lavoisier. He's often called the father of modern chemistry, and he did a lot of things. He discovered oxygen and various things like that, but was working with matter and changes and stuff. Always found that no matter how you change its shape or form, it always had the same mass. And once again, using that scientific method, these two really started the science, having it be more scientific, I guess, would be a good way. So, what do chemists do? Well, let's talk about what we would have, or what we wouldn't have if it weren't for chemistry. We wouldn't have things like flat screen TVs. I mean, all kinds of chemistry in the television, LED lights, very important cubic zirconium rings, but just, things like that. Plastics. Now there's a huge one, okay? And things like semiconductors, so computers, things like this. This is all of this is chemistry. This is what chemists have done. Discovered things that are used for those types of things. Take a look at this picture and, take a look and think about, okay, what wouldn't be in this picture if we didn't have chemistry? So think about that for just a second. All right, now let's take a look. What wouldn't we have if it weren't for chemistry? We wouldn't have too much. So you can see chemistry is obviously pretty important in your life. Just think about all of the equipment that we have. There's your flat screen TVs, all the plastics and everything that's in there. Just go back and look at that and think about how much was there. All right, so in summary, chemistry began as a study of alchemy. It's really, though, the scientific study of matter. The word chemistry comes from the Arabic word alchemia, and chemists supply information about matter and the changes it undergoes, and they use those things to improve our lives. That is the end.